Ever wondered why some programmers seem to breeze through coding tests while others struggle? It's not always about who has the most experience or who knows the most languages. Often it's about professionalism and the habits that come with it. Think about it. We all have habits, right? We brush our teeth every morning, we check our phones for messages, we grab a cup of coffee to kickstart the day. These actions are automatic, we don't even have to think about them. Now what if we applied this concept to our professional lives? What if we cultivated habits that could streamline our work, enhance our efficiency, and ultimately, make us better at what we do? This is particularly relevant in the world of coding. Coding is not merely about knowing how to write a program, it's also about how you approach the task. It's about your mindset, your work ethic, your habits. Forming professional habits is your secret weapon to acing those coding tests and standing out in your career. Let's take an example from a Scrum team I once worked with. One of the developers had a habit of coming into our daily meetings with a pre-prepared text. He didn't just wing it or make casual comments, he took the time to write down his thoughts the day before, and this helped him present his ideas more clearly and efficiently. This was a small habit, but it had a great impact on his work and on our team dynamics. And that's what professional habits are all about. They're not about grand gestures or massive changes. They're about the small, consistent actions that, over time, make a big difference. They're about approaching your work with intention and dedication day in and day out. So if you've been wondering why some programmers seem to have an easier time with coding tests, maybe it's time to take a closer look at your habits. Are they serving you, or are they holding you back? The difference between a successful programmer and one who struggles often boils down to their habits. So let's explore how we can cultivate the right habits for success in our next scenes. Coding tests are often misunderstood, leading to common pitfalls. Now let's clear the air and debunk some of these misconceptions that have been circulating around. Firstly, a widespread myth is that coding tests are solely about testing your programming knowledge. This is a half-truth. Yes, your programming knowledge is essential, but coding tests are much more than that. They are designed to evaluate your problem-solving skills, your ability to understand complex scenarios, and your knack for providing efficient solutions. So, rather than focusing solely on memorizing syntax or language-specific features, it's crucial to sharpen your logical thinking and problem-solving skills. Secondly, there's a prevalent misconception that speed is all that matters in coding tests. This belief has led many to rush through the test, often leading to poor code quality, bugs, and, in the worst-case scenario, a solution that doesn't work at all. Remember, in the real world, it's not about how quickly you can code, it's about how effectively you can solve a problem. So while time efficiency is important, it shouldn't come at the cost of a well-thought-out and tested solution. Another common myth is that you can wing it in a coding test without any prior preparation. This is far from the truth. Coding tests require a solid understanding of data structures, algorithms, and sometimes even domain-specific knowledge. Therefore, thorough preparation is key to acing these tests. Now, let's address the belief that the more complex the code, the better. In reality, the opposite is true. Simple code is more readable, maintainable, and less prone to errors. So, instead of trying to impress with complex code, aim for simplicity and clarity. Lastly, the misconception that coding tests are about getting the right answer. Coding tests are designed to understand your thought process, how you approach a problem, and how you plan and implement a solution. So even if your code doesn't produce the correct output, don't lose heart. Your approach to the problem and the steps you took to solve it can still earn you points. Coding tests are less about speed and more about your approach to problem solving. So the next time you face a coding test, remember these points, and you'll be better equipped to tackle it head-on. So what are the habits that can help you excel in coding tests? Well, first and foremost, it's crucial to understand the problem before you start to code. Jumping straight into coding might seem like a time saver, but it often leads to confusion and unnecessary errors. So take a few moments to read and comprehend the problem statement fully. You'll find that a clear understanding of the problem leads to a more efficient coding process. Next, plan your solution. This is like creating a roadmap for your journey. You wouldn't set off on a trip without knowing the route, would you? Similarly, before you dive into coding, sketch out a plan of action. This could be a flowchart, a list of steps, or even a few scribbled notes. Whatever form it takes, a plan provides a clear direction and keeps you focused on the task at hand. Then, break down the problem into manageable parts. This practice, known as decomposition, is a fundamental habit of successful coders. It makes complex problems more approachable and easier to solve. Think of it as eating an elephant. You can't do it all at once, but you can manage one bite at a time. Now when it comes to writing the code, aim for clarity and conciseness. Remember, your code isn't just for machines to read, it's for humans too. Your future self, your teammates, or even the person assessing your coding test will thank you for writing clean, understandable code. So avoid unnecessary jargon, keep your code organized, and always comment your code to explain the logic behind it. Lastly, don't forget to test your solution thoroughly. It's not enough to write code that works, you need to ensure it works in all scenarios. So, develop a habit of testing your code against different test cases, including edge cases. This habit will not only help you catch errors before they become major issues, but also boost your confidence in your solution. Having the right habits can make a significant difference in your performance in coding tests. But what if you already have bad habits? Not to worry, they can be unlearned. Now let's say one of your habits is to dive headfirst into coding without fully understanding the problem or planning the solution. This is a common pitfall, but it's one that can be overcome. The first step is recognizing the habit. Once you've done that, try to understand why you do it. Is it because you're eager to solve the problem, or perhaps because you're under time pressure? Identifying the root cause can help you tackle the habit. Next, you'll need patience, practice, and persistence. Change won't happen overnight. Start by slowing down. Take the time to understand the problem before you start coding. Plan your solution. Practice this approach consistently. And remember, it's okay to stumble. What matters is that you get back up and continue striving for improvement. Remember, it takes time to break old habits and form new ones, so be patient with yourself. To sum it all up, your habits can make or break your success in coding tests. It's the small everyday actions, the routines, and the disciplines that shape your professional persona. Just like the developer who prepared for the Scrum meetings, it's about being proactive and taking charge. Coding tests aren't a dreaded chore. They're an opportunity to shine, to show off your skills, and to demonstrate your dedication. It's not about being perfect, it's about being prepared. And preparation comes from developing the right habits. So, make a commitment to yourself today. Start replacing those unproductive habits with ones that will drive you towards success. Whether it's setting aside time each day for coding practice, or simply making sure you fully understand a problem before diving into code, every little change counts. It's a journey, and we would love to hear about your experiences with coding tests in the comments. Remember, the first step towards improvement is recognizing the need for change.